as a neutral, it's very exciting. And all these games that Tottenham play, the reason they're so exciting is because Tottenham is in them. So now that they have all these injuries, they play the exact same way.
Yeah.
Even when they played against Chelsea, they were down to 9 men. They played the exact same way. I
And,
think like in the long run,
they played naively too.
yeah, that's
but they still
naive,
played,
but it's the exact
Yeah.
same. And I feel like in the long run, playing this way is going to become automatic to these Tottenham players, and they're going to benefit from it. All that chopping and changing systems, like it's not really great. Arteta was doing that at the start of the season, and they didn't look great. I feel like with United, a lot of what happened last season was United found themselves in a position where, okay, yeah, they're trying to grow as a team, but they were competing for everything. So it became a chop and change thing. Every game became like a final. So Ten Hag was coaching to win football matches, not coaching to build a team
and develop the system.
Exactly. Like now he's starting that process again because, yeah, I guess now they're not really competing for something. I think that's what Manchester United need. You need to just strip yourselves of your ego. You're not necessarily, yeah, they have big club, but yeah, forget all that one. Forget trying to sign the best and the flashiest players. Maybe you need a Sean Dyche, build a steady core of a team, and then add some pieces to the end of it. But thinking that, yeah, you're that big club again, spend 70 million, spend 80 million, pay this player these wages, it's just leading Manchester United down the dark path.
It's a very big weekend coming right after a very big week in football. The UEFA Champions League, I think that's where we should start from. It has been a couple of days, but yeah, it's still definitely worth talking about. Two teams from the Premier League got, they crashed out, and they crashed out very bad. Yeah, they didn't just crash out, they actually crashed out really bad. But Newcastle, you won't really hold it to them because they were in that group of death, as we called it. Yeah. But Manchester United crashed out in embarrassing fashion in a group that had Copenhagen and Galatasaray. And I think we called both Bayern and Manchester United to actually qualify from that group. But only Bayern Munich qualified, and then FC Copenhagen, a monumental qualification for them to the round of 16 in the Champions League.
Yeah, as you said, Newcastle, things happen, group of death. They had some very good performances, PSG ones. I think how many games did they win? Had a few good results go their way. Respected St. James's Park, first time back in the Champions League. Yeah, they should be proud of themselves, I think. They'll be sad that they're not going into the Europa spots at least play some European football, but yeah, decent shape for them. They could potentially be back in the Champions League or at least European football next season.
Yeah, true.
But then Manchester United, that's just the complete other end of the spectrum. That was a terrible training in the Champions League.
Complete other end of the spectrum from Newcastle.
From Newcastle. In terms of how I feel like Newcastle can kind of take something from being proud of it, that they were in a tough group, they had decent performances, their fans got some big away games. It happens in Champions League. But I think for Manchester United's case, I think that was just, like, as you said, we thought they should leave the group. Manchester United won the season before. How Ten Hag navigated the Europa League, he didn't win it, but we thought, how we navigated knockout football. It was great in all the knockout games. We thought Manchester United, even if their league form wasn't good, knockout-wise they were good. And we said that, this could spur something. But the performance was terrible across the group. Home games, away games, slapped up on both ends. Conceded 15 goals in Champions League, which is the most a Premier League side in history has conceded in the Champions League. So you can even say they went out in historic fashion, and yeah, it wasn't good. Luckily for them, that Bayern result wasn't a rout because they only conceded one to Bayern, and they already had the record for most goals conceded. So yeah, they could have blown out of the water if Bayern came with sense.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very, very poor showing for Manchester United in the group stages of the UEFA Champions League. But yeah, it's just reminiscent of, or let me say, it's just indicative of how bad, how down bad Manchester United are at the moment. I didn't expect anything more considering how poorly we started this season and how everything has progressed over time. Moving on from the losers, we can talk about some of the winners. Arsenal went through from their group, top of the group.
Easy.
That group I actually called Arsenal and RC Lens to go through, but RC Lens actually were able to, they finished third, qualified straight for the Europa League.
Surprisingly though, the last team, that's the news there.
Exactly.
Sevilla finished
Sevilla,
last.
yes.
No Europa League for them. Or every team in the Europa League is actually celebrating that right now.
Yeah, because you know that when they go into the Europa League,
it's a cycle. You almost feel like they tanked the Champions League to go in the Europa League. They're the Europa League, Real Madrid, and they're not going to be there this time, so the doors are open.
Yeah, so Lens actually pipped Sevilla, yes. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. They're not doing, considering how well they played last season, I think they finished second in Ligue 1 last season. They're currently sitting 7th in Ligue 1, and it's been sort of a middle, it just reminds you of that Leicester City season after they won the league.
The hangover, that does happen.
Yeah, so...
And I think with Lens, it's key. One thing our Champions League I always know is your home games are where you have to do the business. Because if you win your 3 home games, that's 9 points.
Yeah.
And that's what Manchester United feels do. But Lens did something very key. That home game against Arsenal, that was a tough game in the group. But the fans were ready for that game and they took those 3 points. And those 3 points is why
it sort of set them up because they won 2.
Yeah.
And and then they drew 2.
Once you start off like that, win 2 home games, then you're probably going to go through if you take care of business. You can get a draw somewhere else.
Yeah, true that. Regular, what do you call them? The usual suspects. Napoli, Real Madrid, Group C went through. Napoli.
I'm glad to see
also.
Barcelona going through and looking stable because they've had the rocky
patches, sort of rough patch.
So for them to look like usual customers again is good for them.
Yeah, Group D, Real Sociedad topped that group. You really wouldn't have expected that. Real Sociedad topped the group and Inter Milan second in Group D. Both of them have gone through. Group E, Atletico Madrid and Lazio. Group F, which is that group of death, Dortmund and PSG. I feel like PSG were very lucky to have gone through because
PSG.
They were this close to losing that game against Newcastle, the second to the last game in the group, where they were given that dubious, that dubious penalty. Group G, Manchester City, clean sweep, 6 out of 6.
So that is only the second time an English team has won every single game in the group of Champions League.
There you have it. That's that trophy minting 115 financial fair play charges.
That's what happens.
Club.
That's what happens.
Right there.
And they put you in a group that is filled with guys that could be in Europe. And one thing I know is, as I saw Copenhagen qualified, wait for the draw. Manchester City are going to get Copenhagen.
They'll probably get them.
Watch it.
They'll probably get them. But in that Group G, we had RB Leipzig go through in second place.
They've become pretty stable in the Champions League. We see big results for them. They knocked out City 1 year. Leipzig out here.
Group H, Barcelona, Porto. We called that one correctly from the jump. We knew both Barcelona and Porto were going to go through from Group H. Moving on from Tuesdays and Wednesdays fixtures in the UEFA Champions League, we had big games in the UEFA Europa League as well. Liverpool went through. In fact, all the Premier League sides went through top of their group. Brighton went through, West Ham went through, and Liverpool went through. Even though Liverpool lost yesterday, but,
good campaign. It's the Europa League, and when you're a side that doesn't want to be the Europa League and is competing for the big honors, you're not trying to just get to the Europa League without any injuries. You just want to qualify from the round and see where you are. See where your B team can get you, and then maybe bring out the big boys. So this last game, the group was wrapped up. Already top of the group regardless of what happened. So it was a good run out for the kids. Some people got stretched their legs. Luckily, nobody got injured, which is, to be honest, that's the only W for me in that game, knowing that there was nobody getting injured because the big games are coming on. Top of the group, and we'll see what comes next. Wherever the chips fall, we'll take them to Europa League. Yeah,
talking about the big games coming, it doesn't get bigger than Liverpool versus Manchester United in the English Premier League.
It doesn't get bigger than that. In English football, these are the two most historic clubs in England. The clubs that have won the most Champions Leagues, the clubs that have won the most Premier Leagues. It's like one major trophy separating both sides. This is a battle that started from years ago. When Sir Alex came into Manchester United, his mission was to dethrone Liverpool. When Liverpool were winning the title again, the mission was to try and get as many titles as Manchester United. So we have all these new clubs popping around. City get there, Arsenal get there.
But historically, English football,
the two main guys around, and that's why this game is always a big game, regardless of how good Liverpool and how bad Manchester United are, or how good Manchester United are, or how bad Liverpool are. I remember in the Sir Alex era, we had years where Torres is coming up there and just going crazy. Then we have eras when we were good, and there was that period where Mourinho was having Rashford just hitting us on the counter. So it just goes either way. I'm very excited. This is one of the games that when you look at the Premier League calendar, this is one of the games I look out for, regardless of where both teams are. I think Liverpool are going to win that game. I think Liverpool should win that game, but to say with confidence, it's hard to say that because it's a football match and form goes out winning this game. But if I had to put my money on anything, I would say Liverpool should win that game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not even me trying to give you an easy run at it, but the truth just is, the proof is in the pudding. There's literally, I don't see Manchester United.
And you have so many more injuries again since.
Exactly. So it's bad, and it's at Anfield again. So Anfield has been, one of those grounds. Historically, even Manchester United don't have as many wins as you'd want as a Manchester United fan at Anfield. Liverpool this season have found a way to always get results at Anfield, even when they're playing poorly. So it doesn't look good for Manchester United. The number of injuries, crazy. The injury list continues. We've not had one stable centre-back pairing from the beginning of the season. Yeah, we've not had, so you play one game with a centre-back pairing or with a defensive pairing. By the next game, it switches up again. So that instability has definitely come into play for Manchester United. I think the time has come for us to start to take the number of injuries as a valid excuse for how poorly teams are playing and how poorly teams are showing up. Because if we don't start to do that, then we will not get to the point where we can say the number of games we're making these footballers play in such a short space of time is too much. It's just too much. Imagine playing these big games.
Yeah, essentially play 3 games a week these days.
Do you get, like, Liverpool just played that big Europa League game, even though they rested their play, most of the senior players. But now you're going to play Manchester United on Saturday.
And then you have a midweek game coming up.
And then you have another midweek game coming
another
up.
Weekend game.
So it's unhealthy. Yeah, it's unhealthy. The injury list for Manchester United has been crazy, and I feel like that's one of the major reasons. Besides how poorly the club is run, the injury list has been the undoing of one of the major undoings of Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United, in my opinion. And it's one of the reasons why I sort of, just cut him, some slack. But talking about that game, let us know your thoughts in the comment sections anywhere you're watching this. What do you predict the scoreline to be? Liverpool versus Manchester United at Anfield in the Premier League. Both teams. It looks like Liverpool have, sort of put some gap between themselves and Manchester United. So you can't, I can't really say
ourselves and the rest of the league, bro.
I can't really say that they're both, in the same pot for top 4. But yeah, these are both teams that want to finish the league, in top 4.
I think anything other than 3 points for Liverpool will be a disaster. And I think if United can steal a draw, it will be a good result at Anfield. But yeah, like Stella said, let us know in the comment section what you think.
Yeah, just a very quick correction. The match is actually on Sunday, 5:30 p.m. kickoff.
Anfield under the floodlights, and we have all the seats in Anfield fully reserved. It's going to be a good game. You should watch.
Yeah, but the Premier League weekend starts off today at 9 p.m. Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham have been able to find, a result, bounce back last game.
And I think with Tottenham, that's like they have a lot of injuries too.
Yes.
This is within the injuries, they found a way to. I think they need to get their credit for that. It looks like, and I like that about Ant. It's like this guy is. Some would say it's naive, but as a neutral, it's a very. I said neutral.
Neutral.
A neutral friends. As a neutral, it's very exciting. And all these games that Tottenham play, the reason they're so exciting is because Tottenham is in them. So now that they have all these injuries, they play the exact same way.
Yeah.
Even when they played against Chelsea, they were down to 9 men. They played the exact same way.
And,
I think like in the long run,
they played naively too.
Yeah, that's
naive,
but it's the exact same. When I feel like in the long run, playing this way is going to become automatic to these Tottenham players, and they're going to benefit from it. All that chopping and changing systems, like it's not really great. Arteta was doing that at the start of the season, and they didn't agree. I feel like with United, a lot of what happened last season was United found themselves in a position where, okay, yeah, they're trying to grow as a team, but they were competing for everything. So it became a chop and change thing. Every game became like a final. So Ten Hag was coaching to win football matches, not coaching to build a team
and develop the system.
Exactly. Like now he's starting that process again because, I guess now they're not really competing for something. I think that's what Manchester United said. You need to just strip yourselves of your ego. You're not necessarily, they have big club, but forget all that one. Forget trying to sign the best and the flashiest players. Maybe you need a Sean Dyche, build a steady core of a team, and then add some pieces to the end of it. But thinking that, you're that big club again, spend 70 million, spend 80 million, pay this player these wages, it's just leading Manchester United down the dark path.
That's definitely what we're talking. That's definitely what we're saying when we say that the club is just poorly run. Yeah, there's just that uniformity of decision.
It's clear that there's no foresight to decision.
Like
the players that they're signing are for 2 years, not for 5 years.
Anyways, Manchester United is not the only topic we're talking about today. There's Arsenal as well, doing not as great as you would expect. They have to play Brighton 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Brighton and then Liverpool. So I think there's West Ham somewhere in and around there as well. So Arsenal do have a tough December.
Yeah.
They have a very tough December, and how they come out of this December will determine where they are come the end of the season.
I think at the end of this December, you should start calling for Arteta's head if he doesn't. No, I think so. Honestly, because you flopped last season. you were expected to come back this
Flop
season.
is
Relative.
Yeah, I mean, we like to laugh
You
at
flopped the
them.
title last season.
Yeah, they flopped
Okay.
title, but I would say no one thought they were ready for the title. So they flopped for a position that they got to that position because they were good, and then they flopped. So let's not be too harsh
Okay,
there.
okay.
But
You say so.
he definitely should be in the title race. I think if he allows Liverpool just leap him again, and then it's just a case where Arsenal are just languishing in third, and then there's a 2-horse title race, I think Arsenal fans will be extremely disappointed.
It's okay, I'll just quickly wrap things up. Massive congratulations to Victor Osimhen and Asisat Oshoala Agbabola. Both Nigerians with a clean sweep of African Best Men and Female Footballer of the Year awards.
I'm proud of that. I think that's where Nigerians should be. Maybe this is just my own pride as being a Nigerian, but I think there's so many Nigerians. We're so good at playing football. Nigerians are hardworking. Nigerians hustle. So yeah, seeing Nigerians on that stage, it didn't come as much as a surprise. Although this is the first time a Nigerian man, which this should be a surprise. How has a Nigerian man not been the best footballer in Africa in the last 24 years? That should be surprising. Our population.
I mean, remember when Mikel Obi was robbed for Yaya Toure.
Yeah, so this is a
there's
huge moment in
that.
African football. Obviously, for Sisa winning it, that's a normal PA. These are 6 times picking up now. But for the men, for him to win that was very big. I think it was interesting that he beat Mahrez to the award, though. Mahrez, who played for City and won the treble, but it just goes to show how the
much
magnitude of what he did.
He kind of had a big part.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It shows the
Mahrez.
magnitude he played in that Napoli team and
Yeah.
in their success.
Yeah, most definitely. Massive congratulations once again to both men.
I like how they're both wearing green as well.
Yeah, I thought that was sleek. Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Do not forget, we're still coming up soon with our roundup of the year, team of the season, signing of the season so far, and all of that good stuff. For myself and Shopsy, peace.
Love. Enjoy December.